the river. There are no attacks during the night, an encouraging omen. We depart with the rising sun, bidding short farewells to relatives and friends. I want to look back at the huts and the walls of the Rath as we leave. I might never see them again, but that would be inviting bad luck. I keep my eyes open and on the path ahead. It's a cloudy day, lots of showers, the coolness of autumn. Summer's been late fading this year, but I can tell by sniffing the air that it's finally past for certain. That could be interpreted as a bad sign, the dying of a season on the day that we leave, but I choose to overlook it. We march past, or march east at a steady pace, staying close to Shannon's River. Our boats were destroyed in a demon attack some months back, so we can't cross the river here. We'll have to go east, cross where it's narrow, and then make our way west from there. The earth is solid underfoot. There are plenty of paths through the trees, so we make good time. Ronan and Lorcan are at the fore of the pack. I'm next, with Orna, and Run Fast. He's eager to move ahead of the rest of us, but we hold him back, otherwise he might disappear in the undergrowth like a rabbit. Conla and Fiachna are behind us. Conla's sulking, and hasn't said a word since we left. Gaul brings up the rear. I brood upon my reasons for leaving the Rath as we march, feeling uneasy the more I think about it. Mostly I chose to leave because of the vision of my mother, but there was another reason: fear. The Rath seems to have grown smaller every day. I felt so confined. I sometimes found it hard to breathe, and the nightmares were where I was trapped. The wall of the fort closing in, ever tighter, squeezing me to death. If our worst fears came true, and we fall to the hordes of demons, I don't want to die caged in. Is it possible I created the vision to give myself an excuse to leave? I don't think so. I'm almost certain it was genuine, but the mind can play tricks. What if this is folly? If I'm running away from my fears into worse danger than I would have faced if I'd stayed? If it wasn't a trick, if the vision was real, why would the ghost of my mother send me on this deadly quest? She wouldn't have urged me to risk my life if it wasn't important. Maybe she wants to help me unravel the secrets of my past. I've always longed to know more about my mother, where I came from, who my people were. Perhaps Run Fast can help me find the truth. If that's just wishful thinking, and my past is to remain a secret, maybe our Wrath is destined to fall. My mother's spirit might have foreseen the destruction of the Macon and acted to spare me. Whatever way I look at it, I realise I left for purely selfish reasons. The Macon needed me. I shouldn't have abandoned them because I was afraid to hunt down my original people or save myself from an oncoming disaster. I should go back, fight with them, use my magic to protect the clan best I can. But there's some other reason that my mother appeared. What if? If I can somehow help the Macon by coming on this crazy trek? Bamba said that we should always follow the guidance of spirits, although we had to be wary because sometimes they could try to trick us. Ah, help me. So many possibilities. My head is hurting just thinking about them. I should stop and give my brain a rest. Besides, there's no point in worrying now. We're more than a half day's march from the Rath. I couldn't return safely before nightfall. There's no going back. Everyone is quiet during this morning's march, thinking about those we left behind and what lies ahead. We stopped to rest and eat at midday. Ronan and Lorcan caught a couple of rabbits, which we ate raw, along with some berries. After that, we walked slower on our full stomachs. The talk began, low and leisurely, with Fiachna asking Orna a question about the three-bladed knives she favours. There were lots more questions for Orna after that. Those from Arath all know all there is to know about each other. Orna and Run Fast are the only mysteries in our group, and since Run Fast simply grins and looks away when you ask him anything, that leaves Orna as the focus of our curiosity. She's had 4 husbands, children by 3 of them. She says she likes men, but has never been able to put up with one for more than a couple of years. Gaul laughs at that and says the pair of them should marry, since he won't live much longer than a few years. I won't have a lot to leave except memories, he grins, but they'd be good memories. I had 3 wives when I was young. I didn't disappoint any of them. Except when you lost your eye and kingship, Connla smirks, sending Gaul into a foul mood. You shouldn't provoke him like that, Vigna whispers harshly. He's an old wreck, Connla retorts. My father's a king, and I plan to follow in his footsteps. I'll speak to the old goat any way I like. We're not in the Wrath now, Vigna says. We're a small, isolated group, and we need to rely on each other. Think on. Gaul might hold your life in his hands one day soon. As Connla scowls and considers that, I ask Orna about her children. Were they amongst those who arrived yesterday? No, Orna says shortly, gaze set straight, her shaved head glistening in the rain. There are tattoos on both her cheeks, the marks of Nuda, the goddess of war, dark red swirls, which suck the gaze of all those who look at them in an almost mesmerizing way. They're dead, killed by demons a week ago. Anna protect them, I mutter automatically. Anna keep them dead, Orna replies tonelessly. He didn't burn the bodies. We couldn't find them. Demons slipped into our souterrain and made off with them. They must have been playing in the tunnel. I told them 100 times never to go down there, but children don't listen. Her eyes are filled with a mixture of sadness and rage. As a warrior, she won't have allowed herself to mourn, but women can't make themselves as detached as men. Our hearts are bigger. We feel lost in a way men don't. Orna has the body and mind of a warrior, but her heart is like mine, and I know inside she's weeping. Ronan and Lorcan spar with Orna in the evening as we cross bogland. She throws knife feints, which are new to the brothers, and they practice until they've perfected them. Ronan and Lorcan, in turn, know a lot of moves which Orna doesn't, and they teach her a few, promise to reveal more over the coming days. Once, warriors were secretive. They kept their techniques to themselves, always wary of their neighbours. Knowing that today's friend might be tomorrow's enemy, the Fomori changed that. Now we share because we have to. Warriors, smiths, magicians, the demons have united the various Tutha of the land, the way no king ever had. A shame we can't join forces and face them on a single battlefield in fair combat. I'm sure we'd win, but although demons aren't as clever as humans, they're sly. They spread out, taking control of paths and routes, limiting the opportunity to travel, dividing prospective allies. We share our arms, learning experience with others if possible, but I fear it shan't be enough to spare us. As Ronan and Lorcan spar with Orna, Conlan asks Fikna for advice. He has an idea for a new spear, topped with several sharp fins. He wants Fikna's opinion. Fikna listens politely, then explains why the weapon won't work. Conla's disappointed, but Fikna cheers him up by saying that if there's a smith in Runfast village who can make a weapon like the boy's knife, perhaps the two of them can come up with something along the lines of Conla's design. I chat to Runfast, asking him again for his real name, where he's from, if he has any family, but he doesn't answer. After a while, Gaul nudges up beside us. Having trouble, little one? He asks. He won't tell me anything, I huff. I'm sure he could. If he could just tell us that his people need help, he must have been able to tell us his name, but he won't. The heads of the touched are hard to fathom, Gaul says, rustling Runfast's hair. My second wife had a brother like this. Couldn't dress himself, wield a weapon, or cook a meal, but he could play the pipes beautifully. In all other ways he was helpless, but set him loose on pipes, and he could play any man into the ground. What happened to him? I asked. Gaul shrugs. He went wandering one day and ate poisoned berries. Berries, Runfast shouts, rubbing his stomach. He picks up on certain words every so often and repeats them. It's not that long since we last ate, I tell him. Wait until dinner. Berries, Run Fast says again, sadly this time. Then he stamps his foot several times and looks at me hopefully. Run Fast? No, I groan. Not now. You have to stay with us. Run Fast, he sighs, stamping the ground one last time, letting me know he could race up a storm if I gave him the go-ahead. Gaul laughs. He's a lively one. You'll have your hands full looking after him. I might just push him into Shonan's River when we cross, I huff. Wouldn't be able to find his village then, Gaul says. I'm not sure we'll find it anyway, I grumble. How do we know he's even leading us the right way? Could have come from the southern Tuatha, for all we know. Gaul squints at me with his good eye. You're in dark spirits, little one. Are you tired? No. Gaul tickles me under the chin, and I laugh. Tired? He asks again. Aye, I sigh. I'm not used to all this walking, and you go so quickly. I've only got short legs. You should have said. I didn't want to look like a child, Gaul smiles. But you are, and a tiny wee beck of a child at that. Just because I'm small doesn't mean I can't give up. I fume, quickening my pace. But I've not taken 5 or 6 steps when Gaul wraps a burly arm around my waist and hauls me off the ground. Hoy, I cry. Put me down. Stop struggling, Gaul says, and settles me on his shoulders, my legs either side of his head. We might have some need of you later, and you're no good to us, fit for nothing but sleep. I'm fit to turn you into a frog if you don't put me down, I grunt, but secretly I'm delighted. And after struggling playfully for a minute, I settle back and let Gaul be my horse for the rest of the afternoon, admiring the view from up high, saving my strength in case I'm called upon to fight demons in the dark. We've come to the crossing point of Shonan's River in the evening. The river's narrow here, easy to ford. It's the joining point of the two Tuatha. The large castle once stood here, the largest in the province. A couple of wooden roads led up to and away from the place where the impressive stone fort stood. Many carts used to travel this way, and the roads were carefully tended. But the cashel's a pile of rubble now, and the roads are in disrepair. We heard the cashel had been overrun by demons, but hoped that the reports were wrong. This would have been the ideal place to shelter tonight. What now? Conla says, studying the untidy mound, which was once the pride of the province. Cross the river or camp here? Cross, Ronan and Lorcan say together. There's no safety here, Ronan says. Where the demons attack once, they'll attack again, Lorcan agrees. Many can't cross flowing water, Ronan says. We'll be safer on the other side. Conlon nods, but looks uneasy. There was never a fort on the opposite side of the river, just some huts where folks of the neighbouring Toth dwelt. They used to greet those who came across the river and either grant them the freedom of their Toth or turn them back. The huts are still standing, but we can't see any people. They might be hiding, or else all be murdered. Demons sheltering inside the huts from the sun. Come on, Gaul says, settling me down and taking the lead. The sun's setting. Let's cross and find a hole for the night that we can defend. There are dugouts tethered to the banks of the river, bobbing up and down. Each holds 4 people at most. We head to the nearest pair. Ronan and Lorcan team up with Run Fast and me. Gaul, Orna, Fiachna and Conla take the other. Lorcan grabs the rope of our dugout and hauls it in. He's almost pulled the boat up on dry land when I get a warning flash. Lorcan, no, I scream. He reacts instantly, drops the rope and leaps backwards, just in time. A huge demonic eel unleashes itself at him, rising out of the boat like an arrow from a bow. Its jaws are impossibly wide, filled with teeth, which would be more suited to a bear. The demon snaps for Lorcan's head, and it only misses by a finger's breadth. It lands hard on the earth and writhes angrily, going for Lorcan's legs. Ronan steps up beside his brother and stabs at the place where the demon's eyes should be, but it doesn't have any. It's blind, operating by some other form of sense. Orna jumps onto the demon's back and hacks at it with her three-bladed knives, one in either hand. The demon bucks and twists desperately, trying to dislodge her, but she rides it like a pony, digging her heels in, face twisted as she screams hatefully, tattoos rippling with fury. Connla takes aim and hurls a spear at the beast, down the maw of its mouth. The spear sticks in its throat. The demon chokes and slams its head downwards, trying to spit out the spear. Gull darts forward, grabs the shaft of the spear, and drives it further into the Fomori's throat, twisting savagely. The demon spasms and weakens. Suddenly the warriors are all over it, hacking away at it like ants, trying to tear down a badger. Figna run fast and I watch from nearby. Do you think I should help? Figna asks, fingers tapping the head of his axe, which hangs from his belt. They're in control, I tell him. And moments later, the battle's over, and the eel demon lies at their feet, covered in blood which previously pumped through its veins, torn to pieces, jaws stretched wide in one final death snarl. Gaul snaps the handle of the spear, yanks it out, and hands it to Connla. He laughs and clasps the younger warrior on the back. A master throw. Connla smiles sheepishly. I didn't mean to hurl it down the beast's throat, he says, with untypical modesty. I aimed for the top of his head, and it moved. I got lucky. I'll always take luck over skill, Gaul says, clapping Connla's back again. The pair grin at each other like lifelong friends. I've never fought a water demon before, Orna grunts, wiping her knives clean on the grass. She dabs at the final few drops of grey blood with her middle finger, and then rubs it onto the centre of her spiral tattoos, one after the other. They're rare, Ronan says, studying the demon, turning it over with his foot. We're lucky it's not night, or it would have been stronger. Come on, I mutter, glancing around uneasily. It'll be sunset soon. More coming. That silences everyone. After a quick check to make sure that the second dugout is free of demons, we're in the boats and crossing the river as swiftly as possible, keeping everybody keeping one eye on the water, wary of an attack from beneath.